Hello students, in the previous video you did learn about the position of hydrogen in the periodic table and the similarity of hydrogen with alkali metals and halogens. In this particular video you will be learning about the different methods of preparation of hydrogen. We will learn the different methods of preparation of hydrogen. When we talk about the methods of preparation of hydrogen, we will first know the different methods be in the form of a flow diagram. We basically have three methods: the general method, the laboratory method, and the industrial method. Now, under the general method, we will be learning the preparation of hydrogen from water, from dilute acids, and from concentrated alkalis. Now, in the lab, hydrogen is prepared by the action of dilute acid on zinc. Now, we have an industrial method of preparation, and that is Bosch process, the name of the process. This is the only process in the industrial method that you will be learning according to the scope of the syllabus for this particular standard. We will learn each of these methods in a little more detailed way. We will first learn the general methods of preparation of hydrogen. In that, we'll take the first method of preparation of hydrogen, that is from water. Before actually learning the chemical reaction of metals with water, let us refresh our memory about activity series. You already know activity series is a series in which the metals are arranged in the decreasing order of their reactivity. Always in chemistry, whenever you learn chemical reactions, wherever it is possible, you learn with the help of activity series so that your understanding becomes simpler, easier, and you can also retain in your memory for a longer time. Always learn how the reaction takes place and write down the equations on your own, and balancing is very simple for you. Do not by heart the equations. That's a wrong method of learning the reactions in chemistry. Now let us learn the reaction of metals with water. Now we have the reaction of metals with water depicted in the form of a table. This tabular form will help you to understand better. Now here we have towards the left the activity series, which starts from potassium and ends at gold. So we have the series here: potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, platinum and Au. Platinum and Au I have written beside Ag because there is no place here, but you need to write it below Ag itself. Note this. Now let us start with the metals from K to Ca. K to Ca in the activity series, they react with cold water itself to form the respective metallic hydroxide, liberating hydrogen. Here we have potassium with cold water forming respective hydroxide, that is potassium hydroxide, liberating hydrogen. Similarly, we have sodium reacting with cold water to form the respective hydroxide, that is sodium hydroxide, liberating hydrogen. Calcium reacting with cold water forming the respective hydroxide, that is calcium hydroxide, liberating hydrogen. Now let us also know the observation and the reason. Here in case of potassium, the reaction is very violent and exothermic. Because it is exothermic, what it does is the heat that is liberated, it ignites hydrogen. It can ignite hydrogen because hydrogen is a combustible gas. Now with sodium and cold water, the reaction is violent but it is less than potassium. Sodium melts into a globule and darts about on the surface of water. This particular experiment we will be doing in the lab once the school resumes. You have to observe it carefully and make a note what you do observe in the lab. Now we have the reaction of calcium and cold water. Here there are two reasons why calcium is not used in the lab method of preparation of hydrogen, or you can say it is not preferred to be used in the laboratory method. One being it is vigorous and the other being expensive. So write these two reasons if you are asked. So all of these three cannot be used in the laboratory method of preparation of hydrogen. The next we have from magnesium to iron, Mg to Fe. They either react with boiling water or with steam to form the respective metallic oxide liberating hydrogen. Here only in case of Mg, it reacts both with boiling water and steam, but the other metals do not react. The other metals, when I mean it is Al, Zn and Fe, do not react with boiling water, they react only with steam. Now when Mg reacts with boiling water, it forms magnesium oxide liberating hydrogen. Aluminium reacts with steam, or you can say steam is passed through aluminium to form aluminium oxide liberating hydrogen. Steam is passed through zinc to form zinc oxide liberating hydrogen. Steam is passed through iron forming triferric tetroxide or ferroferric oxide liberating hydrogen. We also call this as magnetic oxide of iron. Now here you notice this reaction is reversible reaction. When I say reversible, that means the magnetic oxide of iron, that is Fe3O4 and hydrogen, they combine to form iron and steam. That is why it is known as reversible. Now here magnesium reacting with boiling water, the reaction is slow, whereas Mg to Fe when they react with steam in the heated state. When I say heated state, that means the metal should be in the heated state. They form the corresponding oxide liberating hydrogen. Whereas the reaction of iron and steam is reversible. This is the most likely question asked. They do ask indirect question as to the reaction, to write down the equation of the reaction in which the metal reacts reversibly with steam. Then we have Pb and below Pb, metals below iron in the activity series, that is Pb to Au. They have no reaction with water. That means they do not react with water. So you don't have any reaction with any sort of water, be it cold water or with boiling water or steam. Hence, you don't have any equations to write down here. Now learn all these equations well, write them down. You have to practice. Practice only makes you perfect, and be thorough with these. One more indirect question that you might get here. You can see that in all the cases, the only one product which is common is hydrogen. You will be getting as name the gas evolved in each case. In that they might ask the active metals. I told you active metals means K2Fe. Any of these active metals reacting with water, if they ask, you should know that the gas liberated is hydrogen. Write down the equation. Do not glance the equation. Practice them well. Learn balanced chemical equation itself. The second general method of preparation of hydrogen is from dilute acids. We will be learning that in a little more detail. We have general method 2 from dilute acids. Here we have a tabular form which again makes your study simpler, easier. We have the activity series towards the lead. It starts from potassium and ends at Au. Now we will learn this particular reaction with respect to activity series. We have potassium, sodium and calcium at the top of the series. So from K to Na, when they react with dilute acid, they form the respective salt liberating hydrogen. Now when we say dilute acid, it can be dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid. If the metal reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, then the salt formed is a respective chloride. If the metal reacts with dilute sulfuric acid, then the salt formed will be the respective sulfate. Now potassium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to form potassium chloride liberating hydrogen. Sodium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid forming sodium chloride liberating hydrogen. Calcium reacts with dilute sulfuric acid forming calcium sulfate liberating hydrogen. You can see here, because it is sulfate, the respective salt is also a sulfate. Now in all the three cases, KNaCa, they react with dilute HCl or dilute H2SO4, but the reaction is highly explosive and practically not feasible for preparation. Because they are highly explosive, we cannot use any of these reactions or one of these reaction for the laboratory method of preparation of hydrogen. And then we have from Mg to Fe. Mg to Fe, these metals also react with dilute HCl or dilute H2SO4 to form the respective salt liberating hydrogen. Magnesium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to form magnesium chloride, liberating hydrogen. Aluminium reacts with dilute sulfuric acid, forming aluminium sulfate, liberating hydrogen. Zinc reacts with dilute sulfuric acid, forming zinc sulfate, liberating hydrogen. Iron reacts with dilute HCl, forming iron 2 chloride or ferrous chloride, liberating hydrogen. Here, this is one particular reaction where you have to learn well and keep in mind. Always there is a confusion between iron and dilute HCl. We have another reaction, iron and chlorine. So iron and dilute HCl is a displacement reaction, whereas iron and chlorine is a combination reaction. In the displacement reaction, always the lower chloride is formed. The reaction between iron and chlorine, which is a combination reaction, a higher chloride is formed, that is ferric chloride is formed. So if it is between iron and dilute HCl, it is ferrous chloride and hydrogen. If it is between iron and chlorine, then it is ferric chloride that is formed. So here again we know it reacts to form salt and hydrogen. So when we talk about active metals, I have told you active metals means K2Fe. All these active metals, they react with dilute acid, forming the respective salt, liberating hydrogen. You can notice in all these cases the common product that is formed is hydrogen, you can see. So you might also get this as a question, name the gas evolved in each case. In that you will get any of the active metals. When I say active metal, it is from K2Fe reacting with a dilute acid. So if you see an active metal reacting with a dilute acid, then you know the gas evolved is hydrogen. Keep this in mind. Anyway, the question can be twisted in chemistry. If you understand the concept, you can answer. Now we have metals below iron, that is from Pb to Au. They do not have any reaction with dilute acids. However, lead reacts with dilute H2SO4 and dilute HCl, forming an insoluble coating of lead sulfate and lead chloride respectively, and hence further the reaction comes to a stop. That means lead though reacts, after some time the reaction comes to a stop because it forms an insoluble coating of lead 2 sulfate and lead 2 chloride. So this is as good as lead not reacting with dilute HCl. Therefore, lead cannot be used in the laboratory method of preparation of hydrogen with dilute acids. Learn all these equations well, write them down, practice, be thorough with them. We have one dilute acid which is not been used here at all. We have used only dilute hydrochloric acid and dilute sulfuric acid. We have not used dilute nitric acid at all. Why is it so? Why can't we use dilute nitric acid? That's the reason question, which is the most likely question that is asked, so you learn it well. Dilute nitric acid is not used in the preparation of hydrogen from metals because it is a powerful oxidizing agent, and the nascent oxygen formed on its decomposition oxidizes hydrogen to water. That means whenever we use dilute nitric acid, when it decomposes, it forms a nascent oxygen. Nascent oxygen is always, when we say nascent, it is the active form. Here it is nascent oxygen, so it's a very active form of oxygen. So this nascent oxygen, what it will do, it will convert hydrogen into water. Now when it oxidizes hydrogen or convert hydrogen to water, our purpose of doing the experiment only is not fulfilled. We are preparing hydrogen, but instead of hydrogen we get water. So how can we use dilute nitric acid as one of the laboratory method of preparation of hydrogen? So this you keep in mind. This is a reasoning question, most likely question asked. Two things you have to keep here. One is dilute nitric acid is a powerful oxidizing agent, you should know. The other one that you should know is it oxidizes hydrogen to water. Two things you should write. Here we have an exception for the rule. Whenever a rule is made, you know there are always exceptions. We have manganese and magnesium, which are the two metals which react with cold very dilute nitric acid, and when they react with cold very dilute nitric acid, they give hydrogen. Now how do they give hydrogen, or why do they give hydrogen? It is because on dilution the oxidizing nature is reduced, and when the oxidizing nature is reduced, HNO3 will not convert hydrogen to water. It will retain as water. So these are the two exceptions. Note the exceptions well. If asked, you can write them. Learn all the equations well. Practice them and be thorough with the equations. It's important from the examination point of view. We will learn the next general method of preparation, that is the reaction of metals with alkalis. Now here when we say metals here, we are not considering all the metals. We have only three metals which are very unique, and how they are unique is what we are going to learn. We have three metals, that is zinc, lead and aluminium in the activity series. Only these three metals will react with concentrated alkalis. Zinc, lead and aluminium form oxides, example zinc oxide and zinc hydroxides, which are amphoteric in nature, that is react with both acids and bases to give salt and hydrogen. We very well know now that when metals react with dilute acid, that is active metals react with dilute acid, they liberate hydrogen. But when these three metals which are amphoteric in nature, you can call it as amphoteric oxides or amphoteric hydroxides. So these being amphoteric in nature, they react with not only acids but also concentrated alkalis, and when they react with concentrated alkalis, they give the respective salt liberating hydrogen. Now here we have a table again in which we have the reaction of these amphoteric metals with the concentrated alkalis. Here we have zinc reacting with sodium hydroxide, which is concentrated, giving sodium zincate liberating hydrogen. We have a salt that is formed, which is a complex salt, because this has a simple ion sodium and a complex ion zincate ion. So we call it as a complex salt. Now here again we know we need the product hydrogen that we get. Then zinc reacts with potassium hydroxide, forming potassium zincate and hydrogen. Lead reacts with sodium hydroxide, forming sodium plumbite, liberating hydrogen. Aluminium reacts with sodium hydroxide, forming sodium aluminate, liberating hydrogen. Only with aluminium on the reactant side you have water. It reacts in the presence of water, so you need to write water also along with the other two reactants. Now we have hydrogen as one common product that is being liberated in all the cases. Now zinc, lead and aluminium react with hot concentrated alkali, that is sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, forming the respective salt and hydrogen. Very important. You will also get it as name the gas that is evolved, and there you'll be given one of these three amphoteric metals with either sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. The minute you see these three metals with sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide, the gas that is liberated you should know is hydrogen. So practice the equations, write them down, learn them well. Very important these are. Look at the description box for the assignments. Thank you.